Hello, Potato, and welcome to Weekend Magic for September the 7th, 2024. This week, I was planning on doing a fifth video on Lorcana with the Shimmering Skies expansion, seeing as it's now, but I think either this week or next week would be 1 year from when I did our first Lorcana video, when Lorcana Part 1, Chapter 1 came out on Labor Day weekend in 2023. Yep, they did get out 5 sections of Lorcana in but one single year. However, our decks have still not arrived. Yes, I had opportunity, could have bought them at Target in the meantime, but we'd already ordered them, and might as well just wait for them to arrive. So we will put off the Lorcana for at least one more week. I think the decks are supposed to come later today, but that's fine. We will hold off till next week, because it might actually be, I haven't looked, it might actually be next week. That would be 1 year from the first Lorcana video. But fear not, that just means this week we need to continue on with the Happy Haunt Hunt. Now a full week into September, I think we may actually be coming towards the end of this year's Happy Haunt Hunt. I'm really not sure what else there is to find, at least that I 1, want, and 2, can afford. So this week for the Happy Haunt Hunt, we will be looking at pins. We've looked at ornaments, we've looked at talking Leotas, we've looked at tombstones multiple times. Today, it is pins. And much like our last ornament video, they're not all Haunted Mansion, but they are all spooky season appropriate. We've got D23 pins, we've got limited edition pins, we've got open edition pins, and they've been gathering up for a bit over a month now. And now we're gonna check them out. I don't think in the order necessarily that they came in, but in the order that seems appropriate. But of course, pins are small things, so we need to go down there to look at them. Let's start off with our only non-Haunted Mansion pin, and like I said, it is still spooky season appropriate. It is a D23 pin celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Hollywood Tower Hotel, the Tower of Terror, which sadly out here in California, we can no longer go to because it got taken over by the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm not going to say that I think the Guardians is necessarily a better ride or a worse ride. It does fit in better with, I think, Avengers Campus. Of course, nothing really fits in with the Hollywood street in DCA anymore because they have like Monsters Inc. over there, and I don't know. That land has no theming left really at all. I mean, it looks nice, but there's no attractions in it that actually fit it. But yeah, let's check out our 30th anniversary Hollywood Tower Hotel pin, limited edition of 1500, D23 exclusive, and I think, so I'm going to do without taking it off. It's I got a luggage tag on it for room 1313, probably on the lucky 13th floor. But I think this is a spinner pin that kind of replicates, I don't know, I guess that's presumably how the sign still is in Florida, but how the sign used to be in California, where it would change from Hollywood Tower Hotel to, the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Yeah, but it's still Twilight Zone. Whee! Yeah, I miss the Tower of Terror. That was like legitimately my favorite ride in DCA. Not necessarily for the ride itself, but because I loved the theming, I loved the Twilight Zone references in it. It was a beautiful sight to behold, and honestly, for a long time, it was the best themed anything in DCA. Because DCA was definitely done on the cheap and not super well themed. Now, they fixed a lot of that. I think the version of Main Street, I don't remember, was it Buena Vista Street, does look a lot better than the old postcard look, although I do part of me misses the old postcard look. And they've done a lot of theming work on that whole park. But Tower of Terror was just such a beautifully themed, just the queue, looking at the check-in desk and the luggage and all the little Twilight Zone references throughout. Oh, I miss that ride. Again, not so much for the ride. The ride I can honestly take or leave, kind of the same way with Guardians, but I loved the theming. But as you can see, the pin is a single pin back. It's a spinner. It replicates the Hollywood Tower Hotel sign from out in front of the ride, presumably still out in front of the Florida one. Yeah, this is really of the Florida ride. Theirs was open first, because ours, of course, didn't open 30 years ago. It was in DCA. DCA wasn't open 30 years ago. This was opened in, what, that'd be 94? I remember, I think they like ran on like the World of Disney on ABC. They ran the Tower of Terror movie, I think, at Kirsten Dunst and Steve Guttenberg in it. And I don't know that I've ever actually, I must have watched it when it was on TV. But I certainly haven't seen it since then, because I like the ride. Anyways, this is not about my memories of the ride, although I guess, you know, this is a vlog, it sort of is. It's about the pin, and I do like the pin. It's nice and thick. Look how thick that is. It is a 2-layered pin, I guess because they have the, to seal in the pin that it spins on. So it's nice and thick and chunky, and I think honestly probably a little heavy. Oops, let's put back the Tower Hotel. A little heavy for this, but I also loved all the Tower Hotel merchandise. I've got like a do not disturb sign on my door here. We've got the not ashtrays but drink coasters that were glass. We've got the bellhop's hat, and of course probably the coolest thing we have from Hollywood Tower Hotel is my wife has the, from Gilligan's Island and from the Mickey Mouse Club. You know, that woman. Oh, she did dolls. Nope, I just looked it up. Not who I was thinking of at all. Marie Osmond. I was thinking, Annette Funicello, I think maybe was who I was. No, that's not right either. Anyways, I was thinking somebody else. But no, Marie Osmond dolls. We have the Marie Osmond, or rather my wife has the Marie Osmond at Twilight Zone Tower of Terror Adorabelle Pin Trader doll. She's dressed in like the bellhop uniform. It is a really cool doll, and honestly, probably one of my favorite pieces of, I don't know, I mean, I think it's too nice to call it tat. Memorabilia. One of my favorite pieces of memorabilia we have, yes, even including my Haunted Mansion stuff. And speaking of Haunted Mansion stuff, let's move on to our first Haunted Mansion pin. This one is, I believe, Open Edition. And it came out, I think, a couple months ago now. And it is obviously, as you can see, the Hatbox Ghost. And yeah, I couldn't pass up. I think there was like one or two other Mansion pins that came out at the same time that I did not pick up, just because they didn't do it for me. But I think there was one or two other Open Edition pins that came out like at the same time as this. But I could not pass up the ghost with the most, Hatbox Ghost. It's a very cartoonish version of him with his head on his shoulders and his hat box empty. And I don't think there's any trick or anything to him, like where it does anything. It just looks nice. But yeah, it's a very nice little cartoony version of him. Looks like it's him up there in the attic, because we have like a little furniture dolly there with more hat boxes on it, of course. It's double Mickey backed with the little recycling thing there. And I don't remember how much it is, because again, this is probably the pin that's been sitting around no, I take it back. That Tower of Terror pin came in first. This came in probably second. We are going to sort of end up doing these in the order they came in. Yeah, just a very basic little Hatbox Ghost pin. Could not pass up the Hatbox Ghost. It's nice. It's kind of interesting, kind of cartoony style, which does not really match any of the other pins we're going to look at today. Because I think the thing may have been like a Leota or something that came out at the same time as this that we did skip on, but we did pick up Hatbox Ghost. He's very simple. Just a single layer of metal, no movable parts, no hinges, no see-through glass. I don't think it even glows in the dark, not that I've noticed anyways. But it is still a good add-on to our collection. Next up, we move to limited edition with not one, but 4 pins with this Disney Pins set. It is, of course, again, Haunted Mansion limited edition. Does not say how many as far as I know. And this actually may have been ordered around the same time as Hatbox there. I think, although it may have been ordered at the same time as the Indiana Jones pins. I know there is some crossover in ordering between some of these and those Indiana Jones ones we looked at a few weeks ago. But they were free of its packaging. Get a better look at our Disney Pins Haunted Mansion set. And of course, as you can tell why I absolutely had to buy it, because again, we have the Hatbox Ghost. And I've seen that version of him on other things. I think, is that like the old concept art version of him too? It's got, I think a better face. Honestly, I think I like the face on this better than the other pin. Just because it looks, the eyes just look kind of goofy, and I think it looks a little creepier. But we also have Master Gracie over here, the one and only Madame Leota, and of course, the famous saying, "Look alive," on the funeral wreath with the raven on top of it. And yeah, it's not like a numbered limited edition. It's not like, 1 of 1,000 or anything like that. It's just limited to like however many they decided to make, I suppose. Again, all basic pins, single layer, no hinges. They have definitely gone with a motif in the colors with just kind of silver, white, and green. Specifically that Haunted Mansion cast member uniform green, which is, I think, I'm not a big fan of the color green. I was when I was a little kid, but not so much anymore. But I do like that shade of green because it does always make me think of the Haunted Mansion. But we do have on here also, aside from the Hatbox Ghost, which again, the main reason I bought it, we do have a nice rendition of Master Gracie, looking rather dapper, but maybe a little, look at the eyes there. Maybe a little, he's up to something. Those eyes, I feel, are a little more dubious than we usually see him. We, of course, have Madame Leota, looking very sharp on the cheekbone. That was all glare there, wasn't it? Very sharp on the cheekbones. And then the wreath. The wreath is just cute. I would probably actually buy, if they had that as a regular pin, maybe a little more colorful, I'd probably pick that up too. Yep. That's pin, well, it's item number 3, but it's obviously pins 3 through 6, because we'd have 4 pins here. Yep, it's a lot of pins today, even though we only have 2 more to look at. This was a bunch of them right here. Moving on to our next pin. This is not only the year where we celebrate 30 years at the Hollywood Tower Hotel in Florida, but also 55 years of our favorite haunted house, the Haunted Mansion. The place that I'm sure most of us would like to go spend eternity once we have shuffled off this corruptible mortal state. And to celebrate that, they did release a couple 50th anniversary pins. And the first one is one that I would normally have skipped. I have had issues with these pins before. It is one of those mini jumbo pins or jumbo mini pins, which I feel like in my past, I think the last one I bought was Haunted Mansion. I think it may have been Leota. And I've skipped some since then because I didn't think they were worth the price. But this one I had to pick up, and it is, the 55th anniversary jumbo mini jumbo pin. In the past, I felt they were much more, they really put the jumbo, or the mini in jumbo mini. But this time I feel like we do have a suitably large sized one. But aside from the size, because of course, you can't necessarily tell the size so much when you're seeing it on the website, but it's got that pewter look. I mentioned this in videos before. I love the kind of pewter look on these pins. I had some Star Wars ones a couple years ago that I bought that had a very interesting art style to them, but they had that pewter look, and I love that pewter look. This does feature our favorite hitchhikers, Ezra, Phineas, and Gus, on a very thick, chunky, double pin-backed pin. Limited edition, again, not a numbered limited edition, but we do have our favorite hitchhikers out in front of the Haunted Mansion, trying to get a ride, perhaps to follow you home. That's again, I don't normally go for these jumbo mini pins, but this one, I do like the kind of cartoonishness. There we go, do that. Look on Phineas's face. Gus looks kind of angry. They seem to do weird things with Gus. Like, they don't seem to know what to do with him. Like that Gus Adorable I have that just looks like super creepy. And then just, kind of a happy looking Ezra. But it's a very nice mold. It is a whole 3-dimensional thing. It's not a flat pin. So you have some nice depth there. We have, again, that Haunted Mansion green, but they've made it like a little reflective. I know that's just like tons of glare from too much light in here anyways, but yeah, I really do like this pin. Unfortunately, it did, as you can see, suffer a little bit in shipping. I think this came in a box either by itself or something a little on the heavy side, and it did get a little dinged up on the corner there, but nothing we can't look past, because the pin itself is fine, and that's You know, as long as I'm not sending these things in poly mailers anymore, where they get destroyed in shipping, I'm good with a little bang up on the card. And I would be tempted to say this is my favorite Haunted Mansion pin of this video, but our next one, even though it doesn't feature a Hatbox Ghost, it doesn't feature the Hitchhikers, it features a character that's maybe a little overplayed, but it is still really cool. And that is our other Haunted Mansion 55th anniversary pin. This one's a D23 exclusive of Madame Leota. Now, aside from just looking like a nice pin, there's something else kind of cool about it, or very cool about it, potentially. This one is limited edition, a numbered limited edition of 999, but I bet there was room for 1,000. And this one, as you can see, even though it's double pin back, it doesn't seem to want to sit straight, and that's because this is actually a spinner pin that tells the fortune, a la a magic 8-ball. So you ask it a question, and it will tell you the answer. So for example, is this video going too long, Madame Leota? And then you give it a spin, and she says yes. Yes, this video is going too long. But again, it's a very nice rendition of Madame Leota. Got the high cheekbones again. She does have a number of possible responses here. Yes, no, perhaps, unlikely, and ask again. So, you know, very much your kind of magic 8-ball kind of responses. This is probably the heaviest pin. This is definitely heavier than that jumbo mini pin. And it's because we do have like this multiple layers of metal here. Not just 2 layers, not just Leota, not just the answer, but there's like a third one. There's a base back here. Let's pull this off so you can take a look at that. So it actually, like, you know, holds on to your shirt or lanyard or whatever you decide to put it onto. And that makes it a very heavy pin. It says D23 on the back. It's got that little, it doesn't have a little gem. It's just like a little stud that's like the welding spot for the main rotational point. So nothing is actually like fastened onto that, because that spins, all 3 pieces will spin independently of each other in a way that I do think makes this not a good pin to actually try and wear. Again, aside from just being very, very heavy, there's no way to get it, there's no way to like make her stay facing up. There's no, if there had been a way to like lock her to that back plate, so maybe only this spun, but that doesn't spin super well. She spins better than the second plate does. But it does kind of, you know, it kind of rotates both of them when you spin it. So, you know, like I said yes a second ago, now it says ask again. And over here it says ask again now. It's just, you know, I think it's a really cool pin. Again, 55th, it's got the little musical instruments from when she tries to summon in the spirits. And while I would say I like the looks of that jumbo mini pin the best, overall, I think this is the most impressive pin we have here today. Again, D23 exclusive. I'm pretty sure this is sold out. I think it only lasted a couple days. We've only had this is the last pin to arrive. It's been here maybe a week or two, week and a half maybe. And yeah, I think it's a very nice pin, and if not the best looking, it's certainly I think the most impressive of our pins today. But maybe you feel differently about that. There are all of our pins sort of side by side, so you can sort of get a look at all of them at once. But yeah, what do you think? Do you disagree? Which pin do you think is best? I mean, there's not one I don't like. I mean, I guess if I had to rank them, I suppose our open edition Hatbox here might actually come in last. Not because I don't like it, but because it's up against some pretty heavy hitters here as far as impressive pins. Big anniversary pins, and just some like really cool art style pins. Hatbox does kind of pale in comparison, but also he's the only one here that's open edition. Everything else here is limited, either numbered or just like the faux limited of just however many they wanted to make. But yeah, what do you think? Which pin is the best one? Did you get any of these pins yourself? What did you think of them? Let me know in the comments. But Leota said this video was going too long, and maybe for a pin video it kind of is, so we'll wrap it up here. But I do want to know what you think of these pins in the comments, please. But with that, I will thank you for watching. I hope you found it all interesting or entertaining. If you did, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. Now, if you excuse me, I need to go finish editing the Sack anime video that'll be posted up tomorrow, well, from when this video is released. In the past, probably, when you're seeing this, unless you see this on the day it comes out. Anyways, see you next video.